I don't really talk about my childhood that much. I'm not one to use childhood trauma and things that I've been through as an excuse to be a shitty human being. If I'm being a shitty human being, it's probably because I'm just matching your energy. But I'll never be that person like, I just went through so much as a child and that's why I'm a fucking bitch. That's not my style. I'm just a fucking bitch because I don't like you. I am loud. That's annoying. You see how I'm taking it down? I'm recognizing I'm the problem. I'm not eating tacos. You can't be mad when you're eating tacos. I don't care. Be disappointed. Block me. I don't know what to tell you. Okay, well, that piece of hair is going to piss me off. Welcome back to another episode of Unscripted. Look, I made little cards. I probably won't do that again because the ink does not like the hard cards and it's like coming off all over my hands. And to say that I get angry about stupid shit is an understatement, but we're working on that. Also, nobody's home today. Dennis is currently out grocery shopping and with his mom. And so Toby, if you're new here, Toby is my French bulldog, is going to be in the room with us because he doesn't like to be alone. And I don't think it's very fair. And I usually kick him out because he snores, but he's actually breathing really well. I think he's actually just holding his breath because he heard me say his name. Anyways, I figured this episode, I would answer some questions from all different kinds of categories like childhood trauma. No, just kidding. Teenage years, personality and values, love and relationship, lessons. I would answer those questions in a kind of like get to know me better. Who am I? A lot of this stuff I've realized as long as I've been on the internet and as much as I've run my mouth about stuff I don't really talk about. To be fair, I don't know if I talked about this in the last episode. You guys, if you're also new here, you're going to know that I'm undiagnosed ADD, ADHD. Don't worry, I'm in therapy and I'm going to be screened for it soon. I probably won't be taking any medication for it because fuck it, we ball. And I like it that I can't focus sometimes. But I can't remember if I talked about, I didn't want to talk about a lot of stuff because I didn't want to hurt people's feelings, as in like in my family. And I still don't want to hurt people's feelings, but my mom died. So that's one less person's feelings I have to worry about. Speaking of, she's right there. So she could still hear me. She's dressed for Halloween. I would show you that. But I feel like people wouldn't get it. I have mine and my brother's parts of her. Sorry this got so dark so quick. Welcome to the shit show. But she's a cowgirl and a scarecrow. I really would show you, but I don't feel like turning my camera around and everything. Here, I can just take a picture and show you. If you're just listening and not on YouTube watching, I guess it's your loss. All right, there she is. Can you see? All right, anyways, moving on. I didn't want to just like jump right into it. I do want to keep these episodes to like 45 minutes to an hour, but I figure we could also like chat. So the last time that we talked, let's see, in between there, Toby, lay down, bud. Let's see, I went to Atlanta. I took the boys on their fall break. We didn't do anything during the week because I had to work still, but we took them to Atlanta. We went to the aquarium. That was the first time we went to that aquarium. It's huge. And then we also went to the Coca-Cola place. So that was pretty cool. That was a fun little weekend. I could have sat with the beluga whales for the rest of my life. I really do have a whole newfound like love for them, even though I have a massive amount of love for animals anyways. Let's see. That's pretty much it. We really didn't do much else. I'm very surprised that I'm already recording again. I don't know how often I'll release episodes, but it looks like this one is going to be released 2 weeks after the first one. So yay for me. That'd be cool if I could do that. Maybe I will. I don't know. Don't hold your breath. We'd all be dead. So yeah, not much else other than that. Just, your regular everyday run of the mill bitch. Oh, I'm pretty sure that I am perimenopausal. I'm 38, by the way. Been doing a lot of research, started following a lot of doctors, female OBGYNs who have dedicated a lot of their time in their practice to studying this and come to find out, yeah. Did you know, fun fact, that you can become perimenopausal 8 years, women, 8 years before you even start menopause. Also, I would love to talk about that more because I have been talking about it on my Instagram story. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, that's where I do a bunch of my mouth running. You know what I'm saying? We just chat over there. It's like FaceTime calls every day on my Instagram stories. But nobody even knows what menopause is. Like, honest to goodness, if I was to ask you right this second, what is menopause? Are you going to be able to give me a detailed explanation of what it is? Or are you just going to say what everyone else says, including me, and say it's when a girl stops having her period and you might have some hot flashes? Because that's like all anyone ever knows of it. And that's the unfortunate part of living in a patriarchy. Anyways, so yeah, I'm currently in a journey. I'm getting ready to go get a massive amount of blood work done. And of course, I will talk about that all over my Instagram story. But I want to obviously tell the world what I learned so that other women can not have to go through situations like I go through, where the past month and a half, I felt like I'm absolutely losing my mind. Like, am I crazier than I actually am? You know what I'm saying? Okay. Anyways. All right. I guess we can start these questions. And I'm going to try and do them in a kind of an order of like childhood, teenage years, blah, blah. If some of the questions are dumb, I'm not going to answer them. I did kind of like look over them already though, to give myself an idea of like what to say so that I wasn't just staring into the abyss or the camera, but like I didn't like write anything really down. So anyways, the childhood and family, I don't ever really talk about this much because of what I said earlier. I don't really talk about my childhood that much. I'm not one to use childhood trauma and things that I've been through as an excuse to be a shitty human being. If I'm being a shitty human being, it's probably because I'm just matching your energy. But I'll never be that person like, I just went through so much as a child and that's why I'm a fucking bitch. That's not my style. I'm just a fucking bitch because I don't like you. But yeah, when I was like reading some of these questions, I kind of got a little sad because my brain has an issue of allowing me to try and remember a lot of like good memories. Like, I only have literally a handful, maybe two handfuls of like good memories that I can like remember. Everything else is pretty fucking dramatic or traumatizing or upsetting. So that was kind of a bummer. I'll work that out in therapy though. Okay, so basically starting off, what kind of kid was I? Was I shy, wild, bossy, observer, entertainer? I have been this bitch since the day I popped out. I have been the outspoken, was never shy, definitely bossy. My brother will tell you that I would make up rules as we went. I don't remember doing that, but I would be the person that would make up rules as we went in like board games and shit. I don't really remember that. I'm not that person now. Like, I just school everybody on board games. I don't need to make up rules because I'm just a champion. Entertainer, 100%. Always the center of attention. Just like, and not even like trying to steal the center of attention. I'm just like loud. I've always been this way. Did I have any favorite toys or obsessions growing up? No. I was like trying to think. All I remember is really fucking with Barbies. Heavy. I loved Barbies. I wish it was appropriate for me to still play with Barbie dolls and live in that fantasy world, but they'd probably lock me away. As long as you can bring my Barbies, lock me up if you must. What was your family dynamic like? So, okay, mom and dad, obviously, dad was in the military. I lived in Tennessee pretty much my whole life. It's where I went to school all years. I was born in Newport News, Virginia, but I don't claim it because I wasn't there long enough. We moved from there to Florida, from Florida to Germany. Germany is where my brother was born, which I feel like I might not want to say out loud because of the whole not having fucking birthright citizenships on military grounds, but whatever. And then we moved to Tennessee, and this is where my dad retired. This is where we just kind of stayed. I moved as an adult to New York and to Virginia, but this place is also like a black hole, so I just came back. But my dad and my brother were here. I hate it here. And if I could move right this second, I would. I would. And preferably out of the country. Mm-hmm. And if I had to stay in the country, I would move to New York City. So I don't know how I would do that, but that'd be my first choice. But my family dynamic, my parents were great parents. Like, I was a loved child, right? But my parents had their own demons. And unfortunately, I mean, it's the telltale story of all of us our age with our parents is like, you don't talk about your emotions. People don't, you know what I mean? Like, we just don't treat situations the way back then, the way we do now. And as a parent, I strive to be the opposite of that. Like I said, my parents loved me. My mom was an amazing mother. My dad was a really good father, but they were just so busy fighting their own battles and fighting each other that it didn't shine through the way that it potentially could have. But I also just found out this year, I think beginning of this year, end of last year, that we were broke as fuck. And I didn't know that. So if that kind of gives you an idea of like how my parents were, like we never ate like we were broke. I wasn't dressing like I was broke. You know what I mean? Like, but my dad was like, no, there was times that I'd reach in my pocket, had a quarter. I was like, oh, damn. But then also, Toby's here. You can't snore on the microphone, Toby. You can't do it. We can't have this. Okay. Just keep your tongue out of the back of your throat and you can stay. I see. Now he's distracted me. My gosh. It's not going to work, Toby. Shush. Let's see. But anyways, yeah. So my parents were like really good parents. They just should definitely not have married each other. They ended up getting a divorce when I was like 16. And like everyone's dynamic changed, so much changed then, which makes you just say like, dang, that should have happened like so much sooner. But it just wasn't how my dad was raised. It's just like all this stuff. Toby, you gotta sit right there, sweets, and you gotta hush it up. I have a younger brother. We are like 18 months or 19 months apart. I was born in 87, July 87. He was born May 89. Y'all can do the math if you want to. If not, just go with it. We were really close growing up. I'd say we're really close now. We don't talk like every single day or anything, but yeah, we've seen some shit together. And I wrote the word angry. So if that doesn't answer a lot of people's questions, I guess I've just been holding on to anger forever. Oh no, I think that was angry was just the atmosphere. Everybody was always angry. Growing up, everybody was always angry. I remember, so when I say that I can't like remember a bunch of good memories, like I do remember that every holiday there was an argument to the point where my dad would always say the holiday motto with fucking in it. Merry fucking Christmas. Happy fucking Thanksgiving. I remember that. I remember that every single year. And like that stuff that's not like traumatizing. It's funny to me, now, which maybe be a trauma response. I don't know. I'll ask my therapist, but like it was just always arguments about something so stupid. So stupid. I do know that me and my brother didn't help. I wasn't a bad kid or anything, but I know I stressed my parents out. Let's see, who raised you and what's one thing they got really right and one thing they didn't. So I couldn't really figure out a good answer to this. I didn't really like the way that it was like asked, but I did say that I've learned a lot over the past few years that I'm just really understanding that like I was just raised by two people who were literally just trying to live for the first time as well. Like I saw that quote and when I sat with it, like I read it and I was like, oh, that's cool. And then I let it go. And then I just like sat with it one day and I'm like, literally, my mom was just trying to figure out how to be a mom for the first time. I will always be a mom to a 12-year-old for the first time, 13-year-old for the first time. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm always something for the first time and I'm always trying to figure out how to do it and what's the best way to do it. I'm going to fuck shit up like crazy all the time. But like I sat with that little motto or that little slogan and was just like, they literally are just two people who were just trying to figure it out. And some people just don't do the best. I mean, they do it to their best abilities, I guess. But once I took a step back and like really thought of it that way for my parents, like it really changed like any negative feelings. Not all of them, obviously, but a lot of negative feelings that I might have had towards like my childhood or whatever. Um, let's see. Were you a rules kid or a push boundaries kid? Push, push, push. I'm still a push, push, push. I'll probably go to my grave or my urn as a push, push, push. I do like rules. I do like things like that, but I don't mean like I'm a push boundaries as in like overstepping boundaries. I think you guys get it. I don't need to like over explain. You get what I'm saying. Yeah. Okay. What did you get in trouble for most? My mouth. Toby. And my grades. I was horrible academically. I mean, I never failed a grade until 11th grade. Toby, you're going to have to go, baby. Get down. I never failed a grade because of my grades, but I always just did the bare minimum just to get by because back then they'd fail you. You know what I'm saying? Back then they'd hold you back. Nowadays they just pass kids on. Like to be so transparent, like my youngest, who's 13, he's currently in, what is he in? 8th grade? Shit, I don't know. He still has the hardest time spelling. They just like push him through. Whatever. But yeah, definitely my mouth. I'll talk back to anybody. Did back then, will do it now. And my grades. My grades were horrible. Biggest regret was that. But then I also dropped out of school. I dropped out of high school. I was in 11th grade, and that's when all of a sudden everybody wanted to start fighting me. And so I was like, all right, bet we can do that. So I started fighting people, and I was getting suspended all the time. And I got suspended so many times that I ended up being held back, but they never told me that until I came back to school my first day of my senior year, what I thought was my senior year. And I'm in 11th grade again. They held me back. My parents didn't know anything about it. Like, I'm not even kidding. There was no calls. There was no emails. Well, they didn't do emails back then, but there was no letters home, nothing. I figured it out when I got my schedule, whatever, and it was 11th grade classes again. And I was like, well, guess what I'm not fucking doing again? Sitting in this fucking shithole. There's no way in hell. High school was hell. I didn't like high school. I didn't like it. So yeah, they called all the seniors to do a senior pep rally or whatever. And you bet your ass I went. I walked like it was nobody's business. And some teachers saw me and I don't know if they knew either. I mean, it was very confusing. It was a very confusing situation. Like I didn't understand what was going on. And I was like, fuck this. Then they started calling me and was like, no, you have to do this because you're an 11th grader again. And I'm like, no. And they signed me out. My parents signed me out of school and let me drop out. I went and got my GED like right away, like 2 weeks afterwards. So you know what I mean? Like I still graduated and got my GED or whatever. But only regret really in life is that I did not walk with my class, which I wouldn't have been able to. But still, you know what I mean? It wasn't my fault. Like you want to fight, we can fight. I'm not going to sit here and deal with this shit. But school was rough. Sounds like freaking snow trucks outside. What's a childhood memory that still makes you laugh? Me and my brother, man. Me and my brother used to cut the fuck up. Man, we still cut up. Getting me and my brother together now, like I always want to record us just so I could share it because I just feel like people should be able to laugh at like as hard as we do. But man, we used to do the dumbest shit like Buckethead. We need to get tattoos. We're talking about getting matching tattoos of like, we're going to draw it of like Buckethead. We used to put, I don't know why, we used to put our laundry basket on our head, call us Mr. Buckethead. I don't even know what we did afterwards or what we said afterwards. Just funny. What's one moment from your childhood you've never forgotten, good or bad? And that's when I said it's kind of hard and a little sad, but it's hard to remember a lot of the good things. I remember a lot of the negative things that has obviously helped mold me into the person I am today. So, I mean, thankful as I can be to be positive about it. But like, I don't know. Friends, I had really good friends, really close friends, that were like family. So I have good memories with them. Do you have something? What? Looks like something got erased, but my baby blanket, I still have it. It's right up there. Blanket since I was born. I sucked my thumb until I was like 14 or 15 years old. Possibly, no, I think 15 or 16. I don't know. But I sucked my thumb. This one, I think. Yeah, my left thumb. And I had my baby blanket every single day. I would bring it with me. I didn't care. I would get my nails done when I was like, I started getting my like fake nails put on when I was like 13, 14. And I would tell them to leave the acrylic nail off of this one. But I don't know what the question was and what they were asking about it. But my baby blanket is what it said. What was a weird or irrational fear you had as a kid? So I had this comforter. I wrote monsters can't reach me within my old tiny fabric. Okay, so I had this specific comforter, and I don't know if you can see, but like there's like this little like a raised edge right here. Well, it was like really thick on my comforter all the way around the edge. It was like a thick, I don't know what it's called. You guys can comment down below what it's called when a fabric is like. Anyways, I felt like if I kept my hand like here, monsters couldn't get me. But if it was right over that little thing, they could get me and take me and pull me underneath my cover. I mean, under my bed and eat me. That fear didn't last long though. I wasn't scared of monsters for very long. I think it was the whole like monsters are actually real people, and that's scarier than any make believe that you can think of. Oh, yep. Dennis just got home. Let me let him out. Yeah, thanks, Toby. Yep. So yeah, I stopped being scared of monsters pretty quickly. I was scared of clowns, deathly scared of clowns. I'm not scared of anything now. The ocean. The ocean makes me like my lungs like close up. Um, but yeah, that was really it. Irrational fear. It was probably something like really deep. You know what I'm saying? Like it was probably something I haven't like sat with or whatever. Not like rejection or something like that. I don't really care to be rejected or nothing like that, but it was something along those lines. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, moving on. I'm rambling. If your younger self met you now, what would she think? I truly think all bullshit aside, she would be fucking stoked. We are exactly who we wanted to be, just not rich and famous, but there's still time. That's what I wrote. That little girl just, she wanted to be cool. She did. She really wanted to be cool. And didn't realize that she was actually the cool kid. Like looking back now, if I was to see somebody who was just like me, I'd be like, she's cool. I don't know. I've always been the person that stuck up for other people and stuff like that. And I'm like, that's way cooler than what? Being the most popular person. Because I'm going to tell you right now, write it the fuck down. The popular girls that were mean to me and made fun of me and gossiped about me. Look who's gossiping now, bitches. Anyways, no, it's going to sound so mean, but it's so true. Half of them aren't even doing shit with themselves and are exactly what they used to gossip about me about. So that's none of my business. It's none of my fucking business. It's not my problem. Anyways, next card is teenage years. What kind of teenager were you? A rebel, people pleaser, overachiever, or a wallflower? Anything but a wallflower. I definitely was not a wallflower. I was a rebel, a big mouth. I did my own thing. I realized quickly that people weren't what they portrayed themselves to be. So I've always been around that. I've always knew that I didn't want to be anything like that. Never a people pleaser, ever, ever, ever. Very confrontational if I needed to be. Literally nothing has changed when it comes to stuff like that. I mean, obviously I've grown and I do it in a more quote unquote, that was for the non-listeners, even though I didn't use quotation marks. It doesn't matter. I do it in like a more grown up way, a more, I don't know. I was out all the time. I The only drug I've ever tried in my whole entire life was smoking weed. I tried that when I was 15. So I wasn't like that kind of a kid. I drank, just trying to be cool. Realized that wasn't cool, so I didn't do that anymore. But I did start smoking cigarettes at 14. Yeah, that was pretty stupid. I quit, and I haven't smoked a cigarette in 4 years, but that took me a long time. 5 years? Let's look together. Yes, I have an app because it was a huge accomplishment for me because I had tried for so long and I tried so many times to quit and I never could. And I'll tell you what inspired me to quit. This is how petty I am. If you're new here, I'm very petty. I'll never change. I'm really good at it. But someone that I didn't like started smoking cigarettes again. And I was like, I'm going to be better than them and not smoke. And that literally was the motivation that helped me quit. I haven't smoked a cigarette in 4 years, 7 months, and 29 days. Thank you very much. Let's see. What was your go-to outfit or aesthetic in high school? Not good. Bleached blonde hair. Nobody told me I shouldn't do that. I had the blackest roots. My eyebrows were still just as crazy and just as dark. I didn't have fashion sense, really. I wanted to so bad. But I just didn't. And then, I mean, I don't know. Anyways, it was not great. I wore a lot of makeup. Let's see. Who was your first crush or first heartbreak? I had so many crushes. Are you kidding? I had so many crushes. But my first real crush, I'm pretty sure, was someone that ended up being one of my really good friends, but he would never date me. He knew I liked him. I was not scared to tell people that I liked them at all. And I didn't have like a lot of like boyfriends. Actually, I didn't have any boyfriends. Did I? No, I know I had a couple of boys that liked me, or why did I say it like that? Me, that liked me, but I don't feel like my first real boyfriend, I was dating a boy from a whole different school. We didn't even go to the same school. No, he went to school with me. I'm getting all my boyfriends mixed up. I'm really thinking here. I forgot the order by now. Anyways, I feel like my first real boyfriend, I just can't remember the order. Nope, I do. I remember him. Yeah, he went to a different school. Anyways, who cares? But yeah, I had a lot of crushes. But they didn't like me. That's all right. I was friends with so many of them anyways, though. Okay, anyways, to be honest, when TMI, when I started my period for the first time, the first person I told was a boy. My guy friend, my closest guy friend. I had a few girlfriends. Let's see. Did you have a mean girl moment on either side of it? Never me. Never me. Never me. Never me. Mean girl as in like, I think of mean girl in the sense of like what everybody else thinks nowadays. I think I was a bitch to a few people that absolutely deserved it. 100%. They were assholes or whatever the case may be. But I never, ever like picked on somebody just because they were like not as cool, not as popular. Like, what does that even fucking mean? You know what I mean? I was never part of the cool kid crowd. I was never a popular kid. My friends came from like all different, like I was friends with cheerleaders. I was friends with people in the band. I was friends with gothic people. Like I was friends with everybody. I had a friend group. You know what I mean? Like I had a person from all different walks or whatever, but I definitely I was mean girled. um, by a lot of people. I was made fun. My first nickname was Negative A's. And it was a guy that I had, a guy that I really liked gave it to me. And everybody called me that. A lot of people, I say everybody, a lot of people called me that. Negative A's, because I was CEO, CFO, COO of the Itty Bitty Titty Committee. 100%. 100%. Yep. Fun story. And then many, many moons later, I'm obviously not the president of that club anymore. Thank you, Dr. Siffiking. But the guy who gave me that nickname was at the gas station up the street from where I used to live by the school. And he said my first and last name. He was like, "Is that you?" And his eyes were not up here. I was like, "Yup." Leave me alone, motherfucker. Anyways, moving on. What was your first car and how did you destroy it? My first car was a 1993 5-speed, 3-cylinder Geo Metro. Top speed 56 miles an hour if you're lucky. It was like so used. My dad got it for me it was like on like the sale sign said like $500. My dad went to look at it one time when I went out of town with my friends, and he got in and went to open the door and the door handle broke off in his hand. And he's like, and they were like, "We'll take it for 400. We'll take 400. So my dad bought it for me for $400. I was so excited about it. It had no radio in it, no power steering. I loved that fucking car, but it didn't last forever. Obviously, the thing was old and run down, but so I didn't really destroy it. That's how I worked on cars. That's how I learned to work on cars. I had to change the alternator in it because my dad said, if you're going to drive a car, you're going to know how to work on it. And so I called him and I was like, my lights are flashing in the dash and blah, blah, blah. So alternator was going out. So we went to a pick apart and he made me pull an alternator and then put it back in. Not by myself. He obviously taught me and helped me. It wasn't like some like abusive weird shit. But also growing up, I was always in the garage with my dad working on his Toyota, or like I always was like taking stuff apart to put it back together because I wanted to see how it worked. And my brother was always like hanging out with my mom. Like my mom was a huge gardener. He'd be outside with her while she was gardening and all that stuff. And like that's just how we were like growing up. Okay, let's see. Were you in sports, theater, clubs, or trouble? I didn't even realize this said trouble last time. And it says, I got to be in one play. Okay, so yeah. So my friend was in the theater club or whatever. I hate that I didn't do that. I hate that there was such a stigma on it that it wasn't cool to be a theater kid. I would have killed. If I was able to go back in time right now with with all the information I know, I would have killed to be in theater. How fun. How fucking fun. Oh my gosh. I'm so jealous. I try to tell my kids that. I'm like, you guys, my youngest would be a star in it. Anyways, I got to be in one play by accident because I just went to go wait for one of my friends that I was riding home with. And at that same time, there was a part that someone didn't fill. And so I got like 3 lines. Fuck that whole shit up. I was a nurse at the front desk. I remember slamming my hand. I had to slam my hands down and say something aggressively. And I knocked my chair and went flying. Everybody started laughing. Oh my gosh, it was a mess. It was so fun. It was so much fun. Okay, let's see. Where is that question now? Oh, I was also a cheerleader. Shut up. But yeah, I was a cheerleader in middle school. Who was your best friend? What kind of chaos did you get into? My most memorable best friend was Cindy. She is a girl that lived right up the street from me. I'm pretty sure, sorry about my nose. Like if you're watching this and I just like keep wiping my nose, like I feel like my nose is running and it's itching and so sorry, whatever. Just close your eyes. Anyways, we were inseparable, best friend forever. And fun fact. So obviously I was raised by a mom who we did not do racism. We did not do my mom was a firm believer in like love everybody unless they're a piece of shit, then fuck them. You know what I mean? But Cindy's family was Puerto Rican and they moved out into the country. And I went to stay the night there. And obviously the people next door were some backwoods cousin fucking racist pieces of shit. I wish I knew who the fuck they were. But they had farm animals. My friend had farm animals and I'll never forget it. Anyways, I know they did it because they didn't like them because they were not fucking country bumpkin cracker hair fucking white people. And they broke into their chicken coop. I remember being at the house. We heard the fireworks at night and didn't think anything of it. They killed a bunch of their chickens. They hung the body in front of the front door of one of the chickens. They put the chicken head in the mailbox. Oh God, it's so traumatizing. Still to this day, I just remember being so traumatized and then going home. I never wanted to go back to my friend's house again. And then all I can remember, and I was little, y'all. I was little. And all I can remember is if I feel this way, I wonder how they feel. They have to live there. And that's when I started realizing that people were fucking shitty and what real racism was. And that's why I stand 10 toes to the ground on my beliefs. But yeah, me and her grew up down the street from each other before she moved. But yeah, so I was checking my notes. Sorry, and it was talking about that and like why I feel the way that I feel, and that was like my first experience of like true racism to the point where it's like hate crime, and you killed some animals. Man, y'all are like, yeah, I don't know who the fuck y'all are. Anyway, what the fuck am I gonna do? I'll shit on your front porch. And then Linda and I were inseparable, like in our older years, best friends. She stayed the night during weekdays. I mean, she literally was just like my sister. She was always around. I was always around her. We used to talk to dead people, Ouija boards, lighting candles. I still remember all the candle wax on her wood floors in her house. Yeah, we fucked with the spirits heavy. Sure did. I remember one time we were doing a sleepover or something like that. We were doing a seance, and I was talking to, I don't know, I think my dead grandma that I barely even knew. And I said, if you hear her make a noise, and the cuckoo clock went off. Fucked us up. And I still remember that to this day. And it was so fun. Oh my God, so fun. She's the one who introduced me to the band Korn. So, represent. Then we're friends on Facebook. We don't see each other that much or whatever. But she was so close to me and was basically a part of my life so much that when I did see her one day at a restaurant or something like that, she asked who my parents were. And I said, oh, they're divorced. And she was like, about time. And I'm like, I know. So that goes to show, like, she was literally just a part of my life. A lot of my other friends that I was close with, one was in like a prostitution ring. Pretty much everybody else is dead. It was crazy. It's crazy here. Anyways, but those two girls, those were my people growing up. What was the lesson you learned the hard way in high school? People are mean. People are mean. People are mean. What was your first job? I had so many. My first ever job was pretty traumatizing, and I never talked about it. I have never really told anybody about it except Dennis. I thought about talking about it, and maybe I will some other time. I thought about reaching out to my friend who also worked there, about some real traumatizing shit. But it was, if you live here, secret's out. I worked at a pager store, a cell phone and pager store, and it was on Fort Campbell Boulevard. And the owner of it was a disgusting, vile piece of shit human. And if I saw him today, I would tell him that. But didn't say anything back then, but that's a whole other conversation. And then I even wrote notes that said, which I'm sure I will talk more about once I add trigger warnings to the episode. Then I worked at Long John Silver's, and I hated the smell. I think I got fired though, but I hated how I smelled of like the oil. If you've ever worked in fast food, you know what I'm talking about. That smell that just never goes away of like cooking with grease and oil. But yeah, and I'm pretty sure I got fired. And then I worked at Chili's as a hostess. And then I left there because the manager was a fucking gross asshole pervert. So fun times. And then I don't even know what other jobs I've had, but I've done so many different things in my life. It's unbelievable, truly. Like, crazy. We'll get into all of it, I'm sure. If I keep up with this podcast, we have plenty to talk about. Let's see. What was your relationship with your parents like as a teen? Not great. Not great. My hormones and me thinking that I run the world. My mom's issues. It's just a lot. It's just a lot. My dad worked nights, so he was never really home. No, wait. I don't know. My dad's worked many different shifts. It just wasn't good. It wasn't good. Yeah, what's something you wish you could tell your 16-year-old self? Boys are dumb, and you are way cooler than half the people you think you want to be like. The end. Period. Full stop. Were you confident, insecure, or both? I think a little of both. It just depended on where I was. So that was when I was still trying to figure out, like, so much stuff. My nose is bothering the shit out of me. I was definitely a confident person, as in, like, I wasn't a sensitive person or people didn't really hurt my feelings. So I was like confident in that sense, but I didn't think that I was a pretty person. I still was like, oh, I wish I looked like that, or I wish I could dress like that. So I was still trying to figure out who I was. And I mean, I still do that today, obviously. But it was obviously the teenage way back then. What is the wildest or dumbest thing you did that you'd never tell your kids to do? Well, that was a weird question because what do you mean? The wild or crazy thing? Of course, I'm not going to tell my kids to do any of the wild, crazy things that I did. Preferably don't do any of those. I did them so that you don't have to. You know what I'm saying? But it was a bottle. I drank a bottle of dark liquor by myself. I don't remember how big it was. It wasn't massive, but it wasn't a little shooter. It was enough to pretty much make me black out to try and show people I was super cool. And my boyfriend was there at the time. And he's like, okay, well, I have to go to work. Bye. And I unfortunately, and hate this about myself, I've always been this person. I'm so bad with names. If he walked into my house right now, I'd be like, oh my God. But this guy was a friend of ours. He liked me though. He did like me. But he took care of me. He didn't do anything weird. He took care of me. But my parents didn't know where I was. I didn't know where the fuck I was. Are you kidding? Personality and values. Are you more introvert or extrovert? Oh, is this like speed round? Okay, ready, go. Dang, we've already been talking for 40 minutes and I don't even really need to edit much out. I still have so much to say. Now I don't know what to do. Get right to it. Are you more introvert or extrovert? I'm selectively social. I don't like going to do things, but once I get there, I'm usually fine. I'm an extrovert in the sense of like I can talk to my camera all day and tell you guys every single piece of me. But when it comes to like I don't like doing that. What drains you the fastest? People. Fucking people. Well, not just people. You get it. Anyways, what gives you energy again? Good question. Sleep. Hanging out with my friends. Laughing. I needed the biggest serotonin boost lately and I got it the other day. We were laughing so hard. It was so great. We were getting on everybody's nerves around us, which made it even better. Do you believe in fate or choices? That is a hard one. I do believe firmly in your choices. Almost everybody is fully capable of making choices, whether they be good or bad. And the ones that want to make bad choices and then try to use an excuse later, you are up there with what drains me the fastest. Like, please shut the fuck up. What's your toxic trait and do you secretly love it? My toxic trait is I have an attitude. I have an attitude problem, and I don't love that. I don't love that I have an attitude problem at all, actually. I wish I didn't have an attitude problem. I don't mind my attitude. It's the problem part. What's your love language? I hate this fucking question. I really hate this question because it's not like, oh, buy me gifts, but I love gifts, but I don't need that. I think it's just true communication, open, true communication. I think that's mine. What's your ick about people? Liars. I hate liars. I hate every single one of you. I hate liars. Ugh, I hate liars. But I have so many icks about people. I can turn that into an entire episode. Just like I fucking can't stand social media influencers. I fucking hate most of you. There's like 3 of them. But so there's a difference between people that call themselves influencers, like for real, for real. It's so hard. People are going to be like, oh, there she goes. You know what I'm talking about. And then the people that are just influential. That's my motto. I always write influential is greater than influencers. So just take that for what you will, you know? What do you value more, peace or excitement? Peace, duh. What's something small that feels like a luxury to you? Family? That was a really corny thing to say. How do you define success now compared to your 20s? That's actually a really good question, and I wish I would have thought of this. See, this is what I'm saying. I can't do on the spot stuff because now I'm gotta think. But like, obviously, I thought in my 20s being rich and famous would be considered success, and now where we're at mentally, just continuing every day and doing our best. That's not catching charges. That's success. I literally feel like I'm rushing now, and I don't like that. But I mean, you guys can always like stop this and come back later. I'm just going to keep going. How old were you when you fell in love for the first time? That depends. I thought 15. When I think about like my first love, but I just found out he died. Yeah, he died a couple years ago, 2 years ago. I saw somebody do him like, it's been 2 years without you. I was like, Jesus. I'm not kidding when I say, if I took my yearbook out right now and like highlighted everybody that's dead, most of my book would be highlighted. I'm not even kidding. But I think I was actually 18. My first true love. And I'm a huge, look it up, that you have 3 real loves in your life. I believe that full-heartedly. I do believe that. You have 3 real life loves. And my 18, that definitely was my first love. Have you ever been so heartbroken it changed you? Every single time. Every single time. I used to be the happiest, nicest person, and each person took advantage of me a different way and has completely changed me to who I am. By choice, obviously. I could choose to let it go and not let it affect me. No, it did every single time. Every single time. What's a toxic pattern you had to unlearn? Second chances. Yeah, we don't do that anymore. No. What's one thing you misunderstood about love when you were younger? That I needed to find it in other people, when in all actuality, I just needed to find it in myself first. I think that if I stop trying to find something so hard, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody needs to be in a relationship. Everybody needs to have boyfriend, girlfriend, blah, blah, blah. If I just was like, I'm good, and just figured out how to like be myself or like appreciate myself or love myself first, I would have had less heartbreaks and more meaningful relationships. For sure. What's something your partner would say is your best and worst trait? I can ask him. Let's ask him. Babe, please come here. Here he comes. The question is,
Oh, shit.
What's something your partner would say is your best and worst trait? I said, I don't know. Let's ask him.
Oh.
Best trait.
How you are with your kids. Like, you don't fuck around when it comes to your kids. I like that. You can tell a story if you want. Car kicking, hammer fisting cars that get too close. You can tell those stories.
Okay, I'll do that some other time.
Man.
And what's my worst trait?
Bus drivers.
Oh yeah, and you check my email.
Mm-hmm.
Worst trait.
Maybe.
Like he doesn't have a list.
Not doing what you say you're gonna do.
Worst. That's the worst. That's pretty bad.
Not to like me, obviously, but just life, I guess.
Yeah. I'm not a follow througher. Yeah. That's my worst trait. That's what you think, or that's what you feel like is a safe answer.
I'd have to think about it.
We don't have the time for that.
It is a safe answer though, but
it is a safe answer. There's no unsafe answer.
I don't know. Are you impatient?
I don't know. I mean, I guess when it comes to like certain things, I don't really think like in life. I mean, sometimes I get like extra frustrated when I just don't feel like dealing with stuff, but like I'm impatient when it comes to like.
Oh, I know something.
Okay.
What do you call it? You and Dallas call it the same thing.
Minor inconveniences.
Minor inconveniences. Oh my gosh. You really let that, both of you, really let that ruin y'all's, not your life, but your day, I guess.
Yeah. What did we call them? I changed it. I don't remember what I changed it to.
Yeah, you did change it.
And it sounded better.
But yeah, you really, there's a minor inconvenience. You're done.
It's annoying.
If it doesn't suit maybe like what you want to do.
Yeah.
Something you want to do, of course. And we're all like that though.
Yeah.
Lots of noises.
Lots of noises. That was it. I just wanted to see what you said. I don't know. It says what's something your partner would say is your best. I would say that you would think my worst is my attitude, but
Your best trait?
worst.
Oh, well. I guess I put up with that for 15 years.
Yeah.
Why are we looking at each other in a mirror though?
I don't know. Okay. Are you making food?
Yes, potato soup. Are you hungry?
No.
Oh. But yeah, I do like how you don't let no one fuck with the kids. Only you fuck with the kids.
Yeah. They're mine. I created them. But yeah, I'll kill somebody.
I know.
For
I've
sure.
seen.
Thank you
No problem.
for coming to my TED Talk. Love you. Bye. Okay. Next question is, how has marriage changed your view of yourself? I don't think that's a dumb question. I don't think that's a good question. What does that even mean? What does that mean? My phone's blowing up right now. Oh, my kids' grades are getting put in. What does that even mean? I don't know. I don't know what that means. I don't like that. What's something you've forgiven but haven't forgotten? Everything. I wrote, I'm a Cancer. I also want to do an episode, not a full episode, obviously, but like in one of my episodes, I would like to talk about, like, I want to debunk all of the stereotypical things people say Cancer is. But yeah, I hold a grudge like nobody's business, and I will forever. Zoom in on my face. What's one thing you'll never tolerate again? Cheating. Ever. That's easy. What's a time you were the villain in someone else's story? Yesterday? This morning? 2 weeks ago? Tomorrow? I'm usually the villain in a lot of people's stories that can't have or don't have accountability for their own bullshit actions that I've called them out for. That's none of my fucking business. And I don't really care. And I'll be the villain all the time. What's the most romantic, real thing, not movie style, that has ever happened to you? Career and identity. What was your dream job as a kid versus what you actually do now? I think my mom really wanted me to be a vet. I wasn't talked about school and college and all that stuff as a kid. I really don't think anyone thought I was going to go to college or whatever. As an adult, I know that I should have gone to college to be a lawyer. I do know that. What I actually do now is I work in surgery. I'm a certified surgical technologist. I got hooked on Grey's Anatomy, thought I was going to be a heart surgeon. Decided I didn't want to do 27 years in college. And so this was the next best thing. That's actually not 100% true, but it is a general idea. What made you choose surgery as your field? Basically what I just said. I thought I wanted to perform surgery, which I basically do now because I work in a private practice. And so I am a certified surgical technologist / surgical assistant, trained on the job. So I really, really like my job though. So I like what I do. What's something people misunderstand about working in cosmetic surgery? Everything. Everything, everything, everything. First of all, many people don't even know I exist. When I say I mean my job and all of the surgical technologists, scrub techs, if you will, all the scrubs out there. Most people don't even know that we exist, let alone know that your entire surgery is based on us. We are the ones that prep the room. We do a lot. And I am going to talk about that. And I'm also going to talk about cosmetic surgery because there is this huge stigma that it's just a set of tits. No, babe, it's surgery. You're going to sleep. It's a real life surgery. I want to get into, I'm going to do an episode. Maybe I'll do it on my next one because we need to get the information out there. I will scold the shit out of y'all. Y'all nicotine smoking sons of bitches want to come in and get surgery and don't understand that you are about to have gaping holes in your body. Yeah. Knock it off. There's a lot. So anyways, what's a time you felt completely out of place at work but pushed through? I won't do that. If I feel out of place, I will leave that place. If I feel something is incorrect or something is wrong, I will never be scared to speak up. Ever, ever, ever. I learned very quickly at my last job how replaceable every single person is, no matter how much they tell you you're not while you're there. And so I will never, ever, ever put myself in a position that I am so in, like, I need that job so bad. Like, I will never do that I have to stay and put up with bullshit or be uncomfortable. I'll never do it. Never, ever, ever. I don't even know if that's what that question was, but just so anyone that might want to know, now they know. Have you ever had a, quote, "this is not my purpose" moment? Yes, regularly, every day. This morning, on the way home, I think that I was put on this planet. This is a true story. I love my job. And I'm going to toot the shit out of my horn. I am fucking good. I am real fucking good at my job. I was put on this planet to help other people. Okay, so I helped, in surgery when I did pediatric surgery and helped babies. Now I help people build their confidence back up by working in cosmetic surgery. I mean, I am here to talk people through things that I don't really know how to explain it. I mean, I took the courses to be a life coach. I am only a few credits shy of getting my certification because my mom died. And so I didn't go to the last couple of classes. Well, now if I want to get that life coach certification, I will have to pay for the full tuition again for just a couple. I literally think I'm 6 credits hours shy from a certification stating I'm a life coach. So I don't need to be certified. And by law, you don't have to be certified, but like I'm put on this planet for that reason. Like all the things online, me like coming to other people's rescue or like teaching people how to gain your own voice or stand your own ground or stand up for yourself. That's literally what I'm on this planet for. I know that. I know it. I know it. I know it. And I just hate that things haven't come into fruition for that. I hate that a lot of the stuff, which I'm going to talk about, it's my stories and I don't really give a shit anymore if it hurts people's feelings that I expose the fact that they fucked me over out of stuff that I was actually supposed to be doing, like my goals. But anyways, I was supposed to go on a tour, a speaking tour. And that's for that reason, like a speaking tour towards people. It doesn't matter. We'll talk about it later. Anyways, that's what my purpose is. So every day that I'm not doing that, I'm like, this sucks, man, because I really truly feel like that's what I'm supposed to do. I want to write my fucking book. I want to write my book. I want to write my book. I just hate who I am as a person. I mean, I'm leaving all that stuff in with Dennis of him saying that my greatest flaw as a person is that I don't follow through because I get in my head too much. Anyways, how did you end up on social media and when did it start working? I've been on social media before social media was cool to be on. Everybody's always told me that I needed to make a YouTube channel before YouTube was a thing. I hate that I didn't listen to everybody because I could have been probably a millionaire from the looks of a lot of people. But how I gained a following on TikTok was my I've made time videos where I literally make time to call somebody out for shitty behavior or call out a bully for bullying someone else. That's how I got my following. What's one mistake that taught you a major lesson about career and confidence? Believing them when they tell you that you are not replaceable. Like you are just, we couldn't do it without you. Yeah, bullshit. Yeah, bullshit. People will get rid of you in a heartbeat. People will rip money from you in a heartbeat. People will look past you in a heartbeat. People will forget all the times that you came in on your day off or you went ahead and said, no, that's okay. I don't have to get lunch today. I can just stay here and do this. They will never, ever remember that. Ever. You need to. And how do you handle burnout when your job and passion overlap? I'll let you know when I figure it out. Holy shit. Deeper human questions. All right. When was the first time you realized life wasn't fair? I wrote so many times, I don't remember the first time. So yeah. Who's texting me? Yeah, I learned as a child that, but then when I started working in surgery, I worked in pediatric surgery, and that means that I had a lot of my cancer babies come through, and there's nobody on this planet that will ever be able to explain to me why anybody would think childhood cancer is a good idea. So whomever, that's another reason why I have a really hard time with religion. Because what do you mean he thought that that would be a good idea? But yeah, watching these little tiny humans come in and we have to put a port in them so they can get ready to start getting their chemo. Yeah. No fucking thank you. And when I say no thank you, I don't mean like I'm not doing this job anymore. I mean like that doesn't seem very fair. And then the death of my best friends. The amount of people that I've had to fucking bury or burn, whatever. It's almost like it might be, you might not want to be friends with me because it might be me. But yeah, when they died, they were both, there was 2 of them, Paul and Amanda, um, two of the greatest humans. And I'm not saying like they're the greatest humans because they're dead and that's what people want to do. She was such a great human. In all actuality, she was like a fucking murderer and shit. No, she was a piece of shit, Peggy. Like, it's all right. She's dead and gone. Probably better off. I know we're not supposed to say things like that. But these two humans, good humans. Paul died in action. He was killed in action overseas at war. And then Amanda died in a motorcycle accident. And just two really good fucking humans stolen, literally stolen. And I know you're not supposed to say things like that. Those two humans were stolen while many, obviously, there's like predators and shit out there that should be fucking dead, but like just the shitty human beings in general get to just walk this earth, do whatever they want, get away with everything, including murder. What's a wound you thought you healed from, but still stings sometimes? Cheating. It's a trust thing, and I hate how much it lingers randomly. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't live my life like worried about it, but I have been cheated on by every single person I've ever dated in my entire life. Every single one, except one. Can't say every single one. There's one that did not. Hope you're doing good. Anyways, yeah, it just out of nowhere, just randomly like. So, what's something that humbled you recently? The problem with my fucking kids. They'll hum the fuck out of you. No, I don't really know. I don't know. How do you handle people misunderstanding you? I let them. I am not going to spend my life, however much longer I have of it, trying to help you understand me. Get the fuck out of here. Let them. I'm an open communicator. I literally do not leave any blanks. Okay. I fill all of them in for you. So if at this point in our relationship, whether it be a friendship, marriage, coworker, if you don't know me by now, you're never going to, and I'm okay with that. So you just need to be okay with it too. I'm not even going to sit here and try and figure it out. If you don't get me by now, you never will, because there's not much to get. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not some mysterious, mystical being. I'm tell you exactly what's on my mind when it's on my mind. There's no secrets and no surprises. So if you want to sit here and misunderstand me when I tell you that I need to have a conversation with you because, hello? I need to have a conversation with you because I don't like how this situation may feel, or I don't like how you handled this situation, which in turn made me, then you don't have the capabilities. Nope. Let them. You can go misunderstand me over there. Bye. When do you feel most like yourself? Always. Always. I don't put myself in situations where I don't feel like myself. I have been around groups of females that made me uncomfortable, and guess where I'm not? Around those females anymore. I don't allow myself to be in situations that I'm uncomfortable. I feel icky. I don't need friendships like that. I don't need relationships like that. I don't need business partnerships like that. Like, I just don't. So, I mean, I have off days where I feel like blah, but there's never been a moment where I'm like, "Ugh, I just wish I knew who I was." No. No. I said, and that is a flex. What's something you'd never post on? What's something you've never posted online, even though it's part of your truth? My custody battle. The shit that I had to fucking go through in the custody battle, the fucking turmoil, the abuse, the ridicule, the smear campaigns, the betrayals, all of the above. And I never talked about it only because there was a possibility it was going to harm my case when it came to protecting my kid. And it's a little bit harder now that he's older and he's online for me to talk about it, but I absolutely will. And I won't be leaving anything out, and I won't be sparing anybody's fucking feelings. I hold rage, so much rage. I talked about this in therapy yesterday. I know that a lot of my anger stems from that because I had to sit quietly for so long. And I do know, and I said this before too, I do know that that's another reason why I will fight to the death for people I care about. I will be the mouthpiece for friends. I get more mad about their situations than they are. And I feel like it's because I didn't get to fight for myself the way that I deserved to and the way that I should have. All because I was like trying to make sure that I kept a bigger person persona in the court of law. No, I still say to this day, and it just is what it is, I have made peace with a lot of things for the sanity of my child, but that's it. But that's the only thing that I've stayed real quiet about and never posted online. And I mean, and if I was a piece of shit, that would be clickbait like nobody's business because that story is interesting. I mean, I was like, I'm going to write a book and I'm going to add coloring pages with all the fucking screenshots I got. Like it's out of control. Anyways, what are you most proud of that no one sees? My healing. My healing journey is pretty stellar for how far I've come in the past couple of years. I've learned how to handle my anger much better. And my patience, even though he said I didn't have patience, I didn't used to. So, yeah. What does healing mean to you now versus what you used to think? I wrote, Shumway. Shumway. Fucking animals. Shumway. Get out. Okay. Sorry. What does healing mean to you now versus what it used to? I wrote actually doing the work that comes along with the accountability of shit behavior and actions. This will be its own episode, but this kicked me in the face a few years ago when I allowed myself to get wrapped up in other people's drama. I still to this day am a changed person because of who I allowed myself to be in regards to a situation that was none of my fucking business. When I say it was none of my business, it was my business to a sense because I did unfortunately get dragged into it for unfortunate reasons, which I have come to learn were the absolute opposite from what I was being told. And I am disappointed in myself for multiple reasons. One, because I allowed myself to just believe someone I barely fucking knew. And two, because I allowed myself to hurt somebody that I didn't know so much to the point where I didn't even understand what they were going through. And I was one of the reasons why they just didn't want to fight anymore. They just didn't want to be here. So I probably will talk about that a little bit more because once I sat back and realized that, and once I was able to have a conversation, and so that's what I'm saying is like, I am such an understanding person that there is no reason to not be able to talk to me about shit. I have talked to people that I have had massive arguments with and came out a complete thought, whatever. We'll talk about it some other time. But the point is, I sat down and had a conversation with somebody and we just spoke like adults. We both spoke about the things that were harmful. And that was a few years ago, and it has completely changed my outlook on things tenfold. I mean, I don't even really know. I would have to really sit down and write it all out to make sure that I didn't forget or leave anything out because it was such an important life lesson for myself on how much I did not want to be the person that I was being and how much I will never be her again. Like, I have hair on my face. Like, I don't even know. Anyways, so yeah, random, fun, and entertaining. I don't know. I feel like I'm like out of breath. Let's see. This is the last card though. So let's see. What's the weirdest thing you believed as a kid? I don't know. What's your most embarrassing story you can barely talk about? I don't really have an embarrassing story, but I give myself the ick regularly thinking about some of the shit that I've said and done. Like my biggest enemy is me on Facebook 5 years ago, 8 years ago, 10 years ago. Like, what do you mean? Change the privacy setting for that to my eyes only, please. Please. What's your go-to comfort meal? It's mac and cheese. I mean, it's mac and cheese. If I have to pick something like that, but I just for lunch today, I just fucked up salami, bread, green olives, tomato, balsamic. Like I will do a savory dish like that any day. What's a celebrity you can't stand? Trump. Because he always is, always will be, just a fucking reality TV star gone bad. Who would play you in a movie and who would you want to play you? Me and me. So, always me. I don't really know. I think I've got my roll down. I really know my lines. If your life had a soundtrack, what three songs would be on it? I have no idea, but they would all be emo, I'm sure. Something from Dashboard Confessional, or maybe some Taking Back Sunday, Brand New. I don't know. But yeah, what's your unpopular opinion that you'll die on a hill for? All of them. I am nothing but an unpopular opinion. I am a walking unpopular opinion, and I stand 10 toes to the ground on all of them. No takebacks. If you follow me on TikTok, you'll know what I'm talking about. All of them. What's your guilty pleasure? What's your guilty pleasure show, food, or habit? I don't have any guilty pleasures. I really love Outlander. It used to be Grey's Anatomy, but I stopped watching when the COVID episodes hit. The last one I can really remember is when she went to go visit a new hospital, to go look at a new hospital to work at. I don't really know where that one placed, but I haven't watched it since. Sometimes I want to go finish watching or catch up or whatever. I just don't. I watch things like Blood of My Blood now. I just finished watching the series Rain. So give me the time dramas all day, every day. What's a random skill you have that surprises people? It's not really a skill. But I used to play roller derby. People, they're like, every time I say that, people are like, you used to play roller derby? And I'm like, yeah. Yeah, I did. What's something you wish people would stop pretending to like? When I wrote in that I laughed because when it read that, I immediately went to influencers. It's such a fucking pandemic. I can't wait for it to be over. But I wrote laughing because influencers came to mind. But I don't care what they pretend to care about. Just keep that fake shit away from me. That's what I wrote. Like, I just keep the fake shit to yourself. That is agonizing, truly. What's your go-to karaoke song? Every single time I went to sing karaoke, the first song that I would request was Let It Rip by the Dixie Chicks. Every single time. And I don't even like country music like that. What would you tell people about your zodiac sign that's actually not true? When everybody's like, they're crybabies and emotional. That's what I'm saying is like, I want to debunk it. Is like, it's not that we're emotional, boo-hoo, cry about everything. It's we're emotional and we feel everything. When we're angry, we're fucking angry. When we're sad, we're sad. When we're like worrisome or stressed, we're those things. Like we feel emotions completely like to the fullness and not really. I couldn't tell you the last time that I like boohoo cried. I don't know. It might, I know. Nope. Because whenever I start feeling like I'm about to cry, I give myself like 2 minutes, wrap it up. Let's go. I don't cry. And I'm not saying that as like, oh, I don't cry. I literally could not tell you the last time I actually boohoo cried, which is probably one of my biggest issues. I probably should let it out, but I won't. What's something you'll always overshare about? My life. I am nothing but an oversharer. That's the last question. I overshare everything. If you follow, like I said, if you follow me on my Instagram, we talk about everything. My biggest flex in life is how consistent I am. It's like, I don't put on this performance online and then I'm completely different offline. Like, I will tell you about how my kids piss me off or Dennis pissed me off, or I'll tell you about our vacation that we just took and my therapy sessions and my depression. I overshare about everything. And I'll never stop because me doing that, I have found so many people that were looking for somebody to relate to when it came to that, or even people that I have found I needed to be relatable. I mean, well, hello. For instance, my therapy, if I wasn't talking about all the things that I talked about and how I like feel like I'm crazy and like I don't understand what's going on with my brain and blah, 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 I would have never had one of the people that follow me direct message me privately and say, this is my therapist. She's near you, look her up. You'll love her. And that's my therapist now, and I absolutely adore her. Like, we've only had a couple of sessions, and I already feel like I've gotten so far. And maybe I didn't necessarily need therapy. Maybe I just needed someone to talk to other than my social media. But either way, I wouldn't have found this person and feel like I'm actually making a difference when it comes to like my mental health if it wasn't for one of my followers and being an overshare online. So I'll do that forever, no matter what apps get taken away by our fucking administration at the moment. But yeah, those are the questions. They weren't there. It's not that they were like super entertaining. They just were a good way to kind of get to know me a little bit better. I will say my current feeling right now is I am not that excited about this episode. I almost want to just delete it, but I'm not going to. I'm still going to share it, but maybe with you guys listening to this, you heard me answer something half-assed that you want me to dive a little more into, then that's actually helpful. And I just would rather hear what people want to hear from me rather than just like making shit up, you know? I do know that one person, every time I ask the question of like, because I've been talking about restarting my podcast up for about 66 years now. And one of the topics always is, can you tell us about Amanda? And of course, I mean, I could talk about her all day. I think I might actually even reopen our old Instagram. I have an Instagram account that I used to post all our stuff on, but maybe I will with that episode. But yeah, just a little something to say I am still making the episodes. I did it. I did it. And maybe so people can kind of get an idea of something they might want to hear about. I'm going to sit down and try and think of a couple more topics. I'd like to have some more input from my listeners. So if you're listening and you want to hear my unpopular opinion about something or my advice, again, I'm only 6 credit hours away from being a certified life coach. So I would say that I have some actual trained knowledge on how to do that. I am a little more excited about doing this than I have been before. So that's good. I'm like currently, my brain is like a bunch of fucking laptop, internet windows are opening of all the different things that I could talk about. But so yeah, I appreciate you guys if you tuned back in to hang out with me for a little bit longer. And again, if there's anything you want to talk about, you can DM me privately on Instagram if you don't want to like post it publicly or something. Like, that's fine. I would never, like, unless you want to run your mouth. And of course, I'm going to screenshot it and show everybody who you are. I'm going to give you your 5 minutes that you were looking for so desperately. But I would never expose somebody's personal messages and expose who they are. But I hope you guys have a great weekend, whenever you listen to this. I don't know. Just have a good day. We'll just start with the day. Shit. We'll just start with the damn day. And I'll see you next time or talk to you next time, whichever way you partake in my episodes. Thanks for listening. Have the day karma allows you to have. Ciao.
Build on it. You still on it.